If you're following the women's game, the League Cup semi-final between Spartan and Rangers, that's our live stream at the website, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, kicks off at 1 o'clock, and highlights from all the weekend sports matches on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. Busy week to come. I'll give you further details of that a little bit later in the programme. But most immediately, Hearts against Motherwell at 3. Right now, Rangers at McDiarmid Park to take on a St Johnstone side of fresh from successive Premiership wins. Full live commentary here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland with Neil McCann and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Richard. Welcome to McDiarmid Park this Sunday lunchtime. A cool but still day in Perth as St Johnstone welcome Rangers. Callum Davidson looking for a first league win over today's opponents. His only success against Rangers came en route to Scottish Cup glory a couple of seasons back in that dramatic penalty shootout win at Ibrox. It's more than 12 years since the home fans witnessed a St Johnstone triumph here over Rangers, but they come into this one on the back of a couple of victories, knowing 3 points today would take them from 9th to 5th for a couple of hours at least. Rangers looking to do what they have done in each league match after Champions League defeats and bounce back with a win and reduce the gap on Celtic back to 4 points. No room for error even this early in the season. Rangers about to get us underway then in their change all orange kit. St Johnstone in their usual blue tops, white shorts and socks. Rangers going from left to right as we look at it from the back of the main stand as the plumes of smoke disappear into the Perthshire air after the Rangers fans had let off some pyrotechnics, as seems to be their wont these days, and Rangers have us up and running. And it's James Tavernier just trying to see the ball out of play. He's knocked out by David Wotherspoon back in that St Johnstone starting lineup after having begun his comeback a few weeks back and trying to make sure he's in the World Cup squad of Canada when it's announced soon. A big travelling support at either end of the ground, and the home fans turned out in pretty decent numbers as well, as James Sands knocks it to King, and then Lundstrom just trying to shield it from Wotherspoon, who's making life difficult for him. Little nutmeg on Stevie May from Lundstrom to get it back to King, and then back to the goalkeeper Alan McGregor. His clearance is flicked on by Cholak. Tillman's done well against McGowan, out to the left hand side for Kent. First potential chance here for Rangers. Kent onto the right foot, goes for the shot. Back went Considine there to knock it behind. First Rangers corner. Early doors positive start from Rangers, Neil McCann.
Yeah, very much so. Ryan McGowan just got himself in a big mess there. I don't know if he just bounced awkwardly, tried to take it almost on the midriff, missed it, and that allowed Tillman to go in. But positive early doors from Ryan Kent, just chopping inside Brown. It was blocked in the end up, but a little bit of intent from those two players that I think should have a big day today, Tillman and Kent.
Borna Barisic then with the corner from the left hand side, left-footed outswinger to the near post. It was Davies who was closest to making anything of it, but it's out of the penalty area for the moment as Kent picks up midway inside the Saints half. Left hand side, slips it for Tillman to the left. Kent goes down off the ball. Play continues. Tillman then hits the deck as well as St Johnstone pick up possession, and it is Stevie May right hand side. He's lost it though, can't find a teammate, and it's picked up by King, and out to the right hand side it comes to Sakala. Getting a bit of a run in the team now, comes inside Montgomery, away from him, then he goes down, but there didn't seem to be anything in that. But the referee blows for a Rangers free kick 2 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, Halberg's having a word here with Stevie McLean. I didn't see much in it. He steps across him, but I think he's just got his body between ball and man. I think it's soft, but it was Ryan Kent. He just I thought he was cleaned out by Stevie May at edge of the box. I'm just watching him, watching a little bit of a replay on the counterpart's screen here. And it didn't look anything. I think it was more accidental that Kent went down.
Yeah, he was just having a word there with Stephen McLean himself as Rangers prepares to take the free kick. It's midway inside the St Johnstone half, just right of centre. Tavernier standing over it. St Johnstone holding the line at the edge of the penalty area. In it comes towards the back post. It's headed away though by James Brown, out for a throw-in over on the far side. Rangers on the front foot in the opening stages here at McDiarmid Park. Be a throw-in to be taken by Borna Barisic. Left hand side into the feet of Kent, back to Barisic, then into Tillman. Tillman down near the corner flag on the left. Kent picks up, tries to get a pass away, but it's picked up instead by Nicky Clark, and then forward by Brown. And then Carey goes down under the challenge which came in on him from Ryan Kent. It'll be a free kick to St Johnstone, who just need to play their way into the game, get a foot on the ball, Neil.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've been pushed back early, couple of mistakes, but you can see that the way Callum set up, it's quite aggressive as an attacking line-up. They've got Witherspoon in there with Carey, maybe playing that little box off of Nicky Clark and Stevie May, and Hallberg will just anchor it. That'll allow Montgomery and Brown on the outsides to provide the width, but they're almost going man for man. They've been aggressive in the challenges to Rangers. There's not been a great deal of space, but it's been nice for them to get up the pitch.
Free kicks taken by Parish and returned by King, and Tillman picks up on the halfway line, tries to mount another Rangers attack. Hallberg's trying to get back at him. Tillman out to the right hand side for Sakala. Lundstrom wants it, gets it from Sakala, right hand side of the penalty, just tries to squeeze it across the penalty area. Considine in the way, and it will be another Rangers corner, this time from the right hand side. Good purposeful run there from Lundstrom.
Yeah, it was, and I tell you, he did well to win the corner, because it was a heavy pass from Sakala. He just used his experience. Lundstrom just got a touch on it and off of Considine, but a wee bit of concerted pressure now from Rangers. Tavernier with the outswinger. Davis is getting a run maybe.
Tavernier right hand side swings it into the middle of the penalty area. Lundstrom trying to make something of it. He's been in the good scoring form in recent times, Lundstrom, but he couldn't force that one goalwards, and St Johnstone get it clear. The Rangers pick up once more, and it's Barisic left hand side, midway inside the St Johnstone half. That's a good ball. Considine heads away for another corner. Evasive action had to be taken there by the experienced defender, and Rangers pressing for this opening goal.
What a ball from Barisic. You know, if he gets 30 yards from the opposition goal, that he's going to come with some quality if he's not pressurised. And I tell you, Andy Considine needed all his experience there, coming in, protecting that back post area, getting across the goalkeeper and knocking it away. 5
minutes in, 0-0, but Rangers on the front foot in these opening stages. Cholak up there, but couldn't force it goalwards as the corner came in from the left hand side. Clark can't get it clear. It's picked up by Tavernier, edge of the penalty area, swings it back post looking for Tillman. Tillman forces it goalwards. Parish hasn't got there. Cholak's in there, and then Parish somehow gets back and turns it round for another Rangers corner. St Johnstone 0, Rangers 0.
I tell you, I didn't see much in the box for Tavernier to hit here, but he's just made up his mind. He's putting it in anyway. Tillman's at the back post. He sneaks round the back of James Brown. I think it was at Ryan McGowan actually. Knocks it back. Now Elliot Parish does ever so well at the second attempt.
Tavernier headed back by Lundstrom. Tillman's in there. St Johnstone trying to get it clear. Wotherspoon, I was fouled by Tillman as he cleared it, and that's a daft free kick to give away from Rangers' point of view by Tillman, because they were really trying to keep the pressure on St Johnstone, and now it's been relieved.
Yeah, they'll like this breather. Elliot Parish had a couple of moments there. The ball round the back from Tillman, he does ever so well with the outside of the boot, but when he puts it on goal, Parish, he almost tried to catch it, parried it, and then it looked as if it was going to fall for Cholak with Mitchell in close attendance, but Parish was up quick and batted it away. But a real scare for St Johnstone.
He just kind of slapped it behind there, looking at that rerun, but he did what he needed to do, which is keep it out of the goal. But Rangers have started as Giovanni Van Bronckhorst would have liked them to. They haven't managed to get that breakthrough as yet, as Tavernier at the other end has to try and see the ball out of play, which he manages to do, with Stevie May trying unsuccessfully to keep it in. But I was looking at the stats from Rangers' responses to those heavy Champions League defeats, Neil, and they have won every time after they've gone down in the Champions League. They've come back in the league and won, and it's absolutely what they have to do this afternoon as well.
Well, it's an interesting stat, Al, because it shows that they've got a wee bit of mental toughness to come back, and it's disappointing to not to win anything, any points in the Champions League, and to recover into a domestic game at the weekend is sometimes tough, not only physically but mentally, because of the pressure that they're playing under. Of course, Celtic continue to win, points ahead, they can't afford to slip up, so it shows that they've got a wee bit in the locker there that they can dig results out when they have to. This is just yet another example of that they need to do today.
And Celtic found it tough here a few weeks back. St Johnstone coming back, they thought they'd earned a point when they equalised in injury time through Alex Mitchell, but Celtic, as they did yesterday, kept on going and earned the 3 points. The Rangers find it as difficult today. Considine back to his goalkeeper, Elliot Parish, who, as I mentioned earlier, playing for the first time in the league this season. His 4 appearances all came in the League Cup prior to today. Here's Montgomery, on loan Celtic player. He was caught late there by Sands, and it will be brought back as St Johnstone lose possession, but it will be a free kick to the home side, just inside their own half. 8 minutes played, goalless between St Johnstone and Rangers.
I tell you, St Johnstone can go long if they like. They've got 2 strikers up there, which is good, because you know that way Rangers will play. They'll advance the fullbacks almost 2 for 2, but they're trying to play out. They're trying to play short passing. So Callum certainly believes that there's a degree of confidence in this group.
Poor clearance by Parish, falls to Tavernier. He's able to advance and find Tillman. Tillman gets turned, slips it through, looking for the run of Cholak, who's asking too much, and Considine slides in to clear. Barisic picks up, he goes down. Kent wins possession, but it will be a free kick for the challenge on Barisic, and the Rangers have another opportunity to load the box.
I'll tell you something that might turn out to be a big factor today, Alistair. This pitch, I said it looks good, but St Johnstone pitch historically has always been quite a firm pitch, and it looks soft on top, taking a lot of rain. So you'll see defenders losing their footing today. That could provide a real bit of entertainment for us to commentate on.
We shall see Barisic over the free kick out on the left-hand side, midway inside the St Johnstone half. Plenty of Rangers bodies in and around the penalty area. Stevie May's the first postman, and he gets it clear, but it comes back in, and Cholak tries to force it goalwards. McGowan in the way. It wasn't a very good effort on goal in any case by Cholak, and McGowan thumps it clear. He's been playing pretty well in that defensive, in the defensive midfield position that he's occupied of late, but he's back in a slightly more familiar area, the right-hand side of the central 3.
Yeah, Ryan started out as a central midfielder at Hearts.
Here's Tavernier into the penalty area. Cholak trying to hold off Mitchell, knocks it back for Lundstrom. Lundstrom gets the shot in, Parish down to his left to save, and out for a corner kick once more. 10 minutes in, 0-0.
Really good feet from John Lundstrom, just chopped it and tried to roll it down the side, almost placing it inside that near post of Elliot Parish, but the big goalkeeper down low, down quick, and it's a good stop. Concerning though, too easy into feet of Cholak for St Johnstone there.
Tavernier with the corner, right hand side, swings it in. Sakala rises, and Nicky Clark on the far post to clear, and it's yet another Rangers corner. They're racking them up these early stages. Still haven't got the breakthrough though.
No, and they're actually not taking their time either, Alistair. They're really up in the tempo, taking it short.
It's an interesting corner kick into Ryan Kent inside the penalty area, but St Johnstone managed to win possession back here. He's taking a chance inside his own penalty area. Poor clearance, comes to Lundstrom, then Sakala goes for goal. It's well blocked at the edge of the penalty area there by Considine, who's had to put his body in the way a few times already. With 11 minutes on the clock, it's still 0-0, and Rangers trying to make an early impact on the game to settle any potential nerves. It has been a good response so far to yet another Champions League defeat.
Big gaps opening up into Cholak's feet. Hallberg is really getting caught with Lundstrom or Tillman. He's going to pick them up when one of those players runs deep, and it opens up the whole centre spot.
Barisic in looking for his countryman. Cholak's just over him. Montgomery clears from inside his penalty area out for a throw into Rangers. Right hand side down near the corner flag. James Tavernier, the captain, comes over to take on the score sheet again. Just a consolation in the end from the penalty spot against Ajax late on Tuesday night. Ajax quickly responding to restore their 2-goal lead and secure a 3-1 victory, which ensured they went into the Europa League. There's Tillman for Cholak, big chance for Cholak. Constantine trying to get back at him, he does enough, but Cholak should surely have got the shot away there. Parish eventually just sees it behind for a corner kick, but Cholak just couldn't get out of his feet, Neil.
Great little take from Tillman, super ball. He should just pull on the trigger on the left foot there. It allows Considine to get touch tight when he takes that initial touch, just to steady himself, but I think it was on just to flash the left foot. But again, it's that little area in between the 3 centre backs and Hallberg. Someone really needs to do a diligent job and just make sure they're screening. Short
corner taken from Kent to Barisic, and it comes Cholak with a header. Comfortable save for Elliot Parish at his near post at that time. But it's all Rangers in the opening 12 minutes, but no goals to show for it. St Johnstone 0, Rangers 0.
12 minutes, and I'm not sure. I think there were maybe 7-8 attempts on goal at least already for Rangers. But so far they've kept the nil. St Johnstone have been asked to do a hell of a lot of work defensively. I'm pretty sure Stevie May and Nicky Clark would like a little bit of action up top here instead of working back in a defensive mode.
Barisic fouled by Nicky Clark, and Stephen McLean's view didn't seem to be too much in that as Barisic tried to climb and win the header. Will be a free kick to Rangers though, taken by Ben Davies, square for King.
I'm just watching Callum Davidson. Hallberg, he's seen it, he's got a hold of it, he's told him, he's pointing in front of Cholak, that's where he needs to be, but look at him getting pulled out again. He needs to be more disciplined, Hallberg, because he's absolutely been told by Callum Davidson now to protect that area.
Here's Barisic, left-hand side for Rangers. Fires it forward, too much in the pass though for Ryan Kent. Off his line comes Elliot Parish to the edge of the penalty area and just gathers that one in. 13 minutes played at McDiarmid Park. No goals to report yet, but Rangers starting the game promisingly. As Considine picks up in the rollout from his goalkeeper, finds Wotherspoon left-hand side. He's away from Tavernier, but Leon King will come across the cover for his captain and pick up possession. Teenage defender. He's getting some good experience this season, that's for sure.
Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He'll learn so much from this. I know he'll maybe come under a little bit of criticism now and again, particularly being thrown in at Champions League level, but what a learning curve for him. And that was brilliant cover, because had he stayed with Stevie May, Wotherspoon would have been down. It would have been a 2-1 situation out in the wide area here.
McGregor sweeps it out to the far side, the Rangers left to Barisic, forward for Kent, still midway inside. The St Johnstone half, it's a good turn, trying to lose James Brown, who sticks to his task, and it's back with Barisic. Thinks about going back to his keeper, then spins once more and plays it forward again to Kent. He can't bring it under control, knocked forward by Mitchell. Lundstrom picks up in the middle of the park, now Tillman stepping away from Hallberg, leaves him in his wake, crossing the halfway line. Tillman looking for the forward pass, it's a poor one though. He's looking for Sakala's run, and St Johnstone cut it out, and now it's Wotherspoon left hand side trying to play the early ball forward for Stevie May. King wrong. Steps in once more.
Wrong ball, he wanted it in the channel, Stevie May. He's asked for it twice, one being when King cut it out from Wotherspoon.
Good play from Lundstrom, gets it out to the left hand side for Kent. Infield he comes, he's just brushed aside there by McGowan, and St Johnstone come away with possession. The challenge comes in on Carey, and that's been penalised as well by Stephen McLean. Quarter of an hour gone now. St Johnstone just trying to grow into the game.
Been a good old pace though, hasn't it? Rangers have played with some good tempo.
Free kick to St Johnstone in over on the right hand side, to be taken by Ryan McGowan. Ozzy down the right hand side, it goes to Brown. Brown forward he comes, trying to test Barisic for pace. Finds room for the cross, it's a deep one, it's too deep for any of his teammates, and Sakala will come back and just let it run out of play for a throw into Rangers down near their own corner flag on the right hand side.
Yeah, St Johnstone just need to pin them in here. They can see there's 4 blue jerseys, a little bit of a gap there to Carey. He needs to squeeze in as well, but that little incident with Brown there running Barisic, that'll give him confidence that if he gets into the wide area, he's got a bit of pace there, he can get past him and provide some ammunition.
Forward it goes from Considine, watched by King, he heads it clear. Hallberg's there ahead of Cholak, now it's Montgomery. Wotherspoon on the left hand side trying to get away from Tillman, drags him to the ground. Wotherspoon can't believe it, Rangers get it moving quickly. Sakala, he had a ball inside for Cholak, he just didn't lift his head, and that's one thing he's often guilty of, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He's not got a great deal of awareness. He's all power and pace, and I tell you, when he adds energy to this Rangers side, sometimes he's one of the few players that have managed to lift the supporters just because he's prepared to go and take people on. But the refinement of his game needs to improve. He could have just bounced Cholak there, he doesn't need to beat Considine, just bounce a 1-2 and just get into the same area.
Rangers have it, left hand side, Barisic up to the halfway line, short ball for Kent, drops the shoulder, comes inside, still in the halfway line. Ryan Kent, plenty of room to move into, just leaves it to Barisic, about 10 yards inside the St Johnstone half. Rangers don't want to let the early tempo they've set drop at all, they need to maintain that if at all possible, as Kent knocks it back once more to Barisic. Plenty of time to measure across here. It's a deep one, he's looking for Sakala. Sakala rises.
Good head of Montgomery.
Montgomery just gets there in front of him, gets a nick on it, and it takes it out to this near side, the Rangers right. Tavernier picks up away from Wotherspoon into the penalty area, right hand side, fires it across goal. Parish pushes it away, Wotherspoon trying to help it further clear. St Johnstone through Stevie May clear the lines out for the throw-in on the near side.
What a vital step in from Elliot Parish, because Cholak had pulled off the back of Mitchell in between McGowan. It was right on his head as well from Tavernier, but Parish stepped out, cleared his lines. Far too easy for Tavernier to go past there. Wotherspoon, as I said, that ground certainly is causing a few problems for people to keep traction of their feet here.
Tavernier once more. Forward for Tillman, right hand side for Rangers. Sakala now picks up and he's up against Montgomery. Considine tries to help him. Sakala gets in for Cholak at the near post. Alec Mitchell made a really important challenge to stop Cholak's shot going in goal. Kent with a little back flick looking for Tavernier in the 1-2, but it doesn't come off. Rangers pick up once more, 18 played, still 0-0. Rangers dominating the attacking play. It's out to Sakala once more, up against Montgomery. Couple of step overs up to the angle of the box. Now it's Tillman in field for Tavernier, back to Lundstrom, right hand side. Sakala picks up once more, again he's one-on-one against Montgomery. Can he take him on? He's out on the outside, flashes it across goal, no takers in the middle. It's past Colak and Kent as Barisic dashes to keep it in on the left hand side. He manages to do so, tries to take on Brown, gets the low cross in, Brown gets something on it, sends it behind for a corner. St Johnstone nil, Rangers nil.
Good defending, but really good play from Sakala. It's just what I was speaking about. It provides an energy, a directness to go at Montgomery, gets there and he just smashes across, straight across the face of the 6-yard box. It was actually just allowed to wander harmlessly wide, but good intent again from Sakala.
Barisic with the corner, left hand side, out swinger to the edge of the 6-yard box. Sakala off the crossbar. What a leap from Sakala. Comes to Tavernier over the bar with a volley from the captain, but Sakala so close to the opener. Great aerial ability from the winger, but just a couple inches too high.
Yeah, he's right above it. I'm not sure if it was Mitchell, maybe, I'm not sure. Considine possibly, which I'm not putting the Louis fella his favourite, but he's got such a great spring. Now, there's an argument that his both hands are on top of Considine, and I think probably had that gone in the net, they might have had a little look at it, but nonetheless, it was a really good header. Deep in-swinging or out-swinging cross from Barisic there, but you're not expecting Fashion Sakala to beat Andy Considine.
No, certainly not, but he got the leap, as you say, Neil. It might well have been chopped off, yeah, had it gone in the back of the net. But again, Rangers pressing for the opening goal. I guess the longer it doesn't come, the more confidence St Johnstone will get, as Davies picks up on the edge of his penalty area. Missed out in midweek against Ajax, but back in the fold again this afternoon as one of a couple of changes in the Rangers starting 11. Rangers have a throw-in over on the far side. Giovanni van Bronckhorst gesticulating into his dugout something. Standing on the edge of the technical area, it's Leon King out to the near side for Tavernier. Tavernier on the halfway line, steps inside Nicky Clark and plays it back to Davies. Barisic back pedals and gets possession of the ball from Davies. Now it's Tillman the short pass to Sands, the referee in the way, but Sands continues. Tillman then just takes a heavy touch and loses out. Now it's Stevie May trying to get his team upfield on that right hand side, but he runs into trouble. Kent loses out momentarily to May, but then Tillman picks up for Rangers, and now Lundstrom midway inside the St Johnstone half goes for the effort from distance. It comes off a St Johnstone player, breaks kindly for King, and then Brown in the way once more, and it's yet another Rangers corner. I've lost count of how many they've got in these opening 21 minutes.
Yeah, St Johnstone, a few of the defenders are open mouthed here. They're really under pressure. Colak, to be fair to him, doing really well up against 3 centre backs. He's making little darting runs in between the outside one and the central one on both sides actually, and he'd made another good run there. It just didn't come from Lundstrom. He decided to take the shot on, but he's been quite impactful up there on his own as a lone striker so far, Colak.
Barisic left hand side, corner kick, outswinger once more again. Sakala wins the header, and this time it's well over the crossbar. He felt he was being impeded by Montgomery as he managed to get the header in on goal, but well over that time from Sakala.
Yeah, that one not as effective, the head, but that wouldn't have been pulled up. I think that was just, he got goal side of young Montgomery. Montgomery then had to just stand his ground, provide a little bit of a resistance with power, and it just did enough.
Waterspoon manages to squeeze the pass past Sakala, and Montgomery picks up Sakala trying to get back up. It's good work from Sakala. Montgomery will get back onto his feet and try and chase this one down. Across comes Leon King. Good challenge by Montgomery, takes it into the arms though of Alan McGregor, and it will be a goal kick to Rangers. The ball had gone out of play just before McGregor gathered it. Midway point in the first half, still St Johnstone nil, Rangers nil.
I think Montgomery's got a future in the game, but just there, he's quick. He knows Sakala's burning him up. Just step across his line, just impede his run, just give yourself a couple of yards. That'll come with experience from a young fella.
Lundstrom inside the centre circle, sweeps the ball out to the left hand side looking for Kent. Brown though wins the header. Tillman goes up. Carey though won that, and then he's fouled in the middle of the park by Sands, and it will be a free kick to St Johnstone just inside their own half. Tillman took a sore one as he went down. Looked like Carey possibly made a back for him, but the referee saw nothing amiss with it, and it will be a free kick St Johnstone's way for the foul by Sands.
Yeah, no question. Free kick from Sands comes in pretty heavily on Carey. Nothing in it with Tillman. Tillman just goes up with Carey, just used his body.
McGowan over the free kick, still hoping to be in Australia's plans for the World Cup. He hasn't been in recent squads, but was talking in the week about still having hopes of repeating his appearance at the 2014 World Cup. As St Johnstone come forward, it's a rare foray into Rangers territory. May won't catch it though, and it's out for a Rangers goal kick, and they just haven't been seen as an attacking force in the game.
No, that was a good ball from Carey. It was very disguised, that disguise that Stevie May didn't read it early enough. But had he gambled and spun in behind, which is the area he wants to go into most of the time, he would have got onto the back of that.
Here's Tavernier just inside his own half, plays it back in field to King, and then out to the left hand side for Barisic, crossing the halfway line, and then an early ball forward. He was looking for Cholak, but McGowan stepped in, cut it out, finds Hallberg midway inside his own half, square for Considine. Cholak trying to close down Considine. The big defender sends the ball forward, but Tavernier steps in, plays it forward. Tillman now inside the penalty area, tracked by Mitchell, and then knocked behind. Again, I said to you, I think just off air pre-match, I've liked what I've seen of Mitchell, and again he's defending well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Early corner taken, Tillman into Lundstrom. He claimed for handball as he chips it in, and it's gathered by Elliot Parish. Still Lundstrom claiming, but the ball hasn't gone dead yet. It will be looked at if there's anything in it. VAR will surely spot it. Neil, what's your
it's off his head. I think it's off his head. I think VAR's got a lot to answer for silly penalties, but I don't think even that would give a penalty for coming off of Mitchell's head.
Here comes St Johnstone, but May runs into James Tavernier, and Sakala picks up just inside his own half. 25 minutes played at McDiarmid Park, and it's still goalless between St Johnstone and Rangers. Rangers have done all the pressing. Sakala's hit the bar with a header. It's the closest they've come to opening the scoring as Considine knocks it forward over the halfway line. King down onto the chest of James Sands, who just lifts it over the head and onto Sakala. Good bit of control from Sakala as he comes in field and then spreads the play out to the left hand side for Kent. Kent up against Brown on the left into the penalty area. He comes just on the edge, left hand side, a couple of step overs back to Barisic. One touch, then away from McGowan. He steps back to Kent. It goes on the angle of the box on the left. Barisic still in support, but Tillman inside the penalty area, trying to force it across goal. Cholak can get onto it, and the offside flag is up against Cholak, and it will be a free kick to St Johnstone. And although they've been in the back foot, Neil, they've done the important thing, which is keeping a clean sheet so far.
I mean, there's not been too many clear-cut chances for Rangers to score. So although they have had to handle a great deal of pressure and kind of Rangers territorial advantage, but they've not really been under a severe where you're coming off thinking that was an absolute doing there and we should be 3 or 4 down. But without question, Rangers have been the better side. Callum will be frustrated because although as much as they've defended well, they haven't looked a threat at all, and considering there's a number of attacking players in the St Johnstone team on the pitch, he would have looked for a lot more output from them.
Ball's back with Alan McGregor, who played here the last time St Johnstone beat Rangers at McDiarmid back in 2010. Stephen Davis was also in Rangers lineup on that afternoon, and Murray Davidson of St Johnstone came on as a sub. Here is Ben Davies inside the centre circle, just approaching the halfway line and crossing it now, and out to the right hand side. The pass comes to Sakala. It's a heavy touch from Sakala. Montgomery nips in, finds Watherspoon, who immediately plays it forward for Stevie May. Looks to take on Leon King, claimed for handball against King. His arm was by his side, wasn't given by the referee, but St Johnstone have won the ball back, and it's Hallberg closed down by Lundstrom. The pass is intercepted by Sands, and then Tavernier finds Tillman, centre circle. He's got a lot of room to run into here. St Johnstone trying to funnel bodies back, plays it to Kent on the left hand side. Barisic in support, that's where the ball goes. Can he find Cholak in the middle? Again, it's good defending between Mitchell and Considine, both of them sliding in to get the ball out of their own 6-yard box. Rangers pick up once more, but bodies being put on the line in the St Johnstone defence. Considine and Mitchell particularly having to do so. Rangers have it once more. It's King inside the centre circle, steps forward, finds Lundstrom, such an important player in the heart of the Rangers midfield. Out to the left hand side it goes to Kent, back in for Lundstrom, just left of centre. Now Sands midway inside the St Johnstone half, plays it square to Tavernier, who goes back the way to King. Rangers looking for that, what could be a precious opening goal. out to Kent on the left-hand side, up against Brown once more, almost in the touchline on that left-hand side. Lundstrom looking for it, goes back to Barisic though, still midway inside the Saints half, turns away from Carey, slides it forward for Cholak, who's left of the penalty area. Nice touch forward for Barisic once more into the penalty area. It comes, but straight into the arms of Elliot Parish. And they've played 28 minutes now. It's still St Johnstone 0, Rangers 0.
Comfortable, Elliot Parish, but there's a feature of Rangers play that I like from them, because I think it has been missing in a lot of the domestic games, where they're getting a midfielder going beyond the single striker. It's something that Celtic do better than anyone in the country, and I don't think Rangers were doing it enough. But Tillman's going, Lundstrom's going, they're having shots about.
That's a nice flick from Tillman to Sands, out to Sakala. I think Cholak wanted it early there, but Sakala has it inside the penalty area. Back for Tavernier, goes for goal, but it's well wide from the skipper. That was more than half a chance on the edge of the box there for Tavernier. So often we've seen him hit the target and score from that kind of distance, but got his radar wrong that time. 2 or 3 yards wide. Sorry, Neil.
No. You just know what he's going to do. Ali, he scored an absolute wonder goal here with that type of reverse in action, where he cuts it across it from the right side but reverses it towards the far post. He tried it again, just get too much on it, but I tell you, they had a better run. Cholak making that run I've been speaking about, in between the left centre back and Mitchell in the middle that time. Decided to go wide from Sands into Sakala, and I've just described Tavernier's effort, but those gaps are still appearing, and it's something that Callum's backroom staff, because sometimes a manager out there, you're focusing on so many things, somebody in the backroom team must see those gaps appearing, tighten that three up a little bit.
Half an hour gone, still goalless at McDiarmid, as it's knocked forward by Brown. McGregor will come off his line and gather that before Stevie May can get there. He's had precious little to do, Alan McGregor. Bowls it out to the left-hand side, where Lundstrom gathers in and knocks it back to Davies. Just inside his own half, plays it square for King. Out to the left it goes to Barisic. Forward it comes to the left back and then leaves it to Kent, midway inside the Saints half. Brown with him. Barisic picks up once more against Carey. Tries to beat him for pace. He's taken too much of a touch, but he kept it in there. Yes, he's swum it to the back post, Barisic. But he just overplayed that, but manages to get the cross in. Comes to Tavernier and now Sakala, right hand side. Back it goes to Sands. Sands has Davies. Every single player well inside the St Johnstone half, barring Alan McGregor. Out it goes to the left hand side. Barisic for Kent. Kent swings it in right footed, away by Mitchell, straight to Sakala though at the edge of the penalty area. Right hand side, can he take on Montgomery? Gets the shot away, it's come off a St Johnstone body. I thought it might have come off Tavernier last there, but the corner kick is given. Still 0-0.
Yeah, maybe comes off of Adam Montgomery with Tavernier in close attendance. Really good work down that left side from Barisic. He certainly fancies Brown, doesn't he, in terms of his pace? I thought Brown had the upper hand, but it doesn't seem so.
Tavernier swings it in from the right hand side. It's headed away by Stevie May and then knocked further clear by Carey at the edge of the box, but Rangers will pick up again, and it's King for Tillman. Oh, he tries to turn at the edge of the box, he loses out, but Rangers have won it back again. Tavernier swings it in, headed away by McGowan this time. It really is backs to the wall for St Johnstone as they try to keep Rangers out here at McDiarmid. Left hand side it's Ryan Kent picking up against Brown. Brown trying to force Kent wide. Kent does well to eventually wrap his foot around the ball, but not sufficiently to keep the ball in play, and it will be a St Johnstone goal kick. 32 minutes almost played and it's still goalless.
Yeah, Ryan Kent though, he's trying to get the thing going on the left hand side. Brown does have the speed to cope with them. I was looking at Rangers with 17 shots in the game, just stealing some stats from the screen across their way.
Quite right
for us. But yeah, Kent sometimes his run is awful straight. I would like to see him do what Barisic does, which is he just angle it up and push the defender sort of on the back foot. When you do that, then you can just actually, you don't even need to go past him, then you just create half a yard and put the ball in. He still has to get that into his game.
Wotherspoon finds Carey in an advanced position, left hand side, Sands with him. Down near the corner flag on the St Johnstone left, back to Wotherspoon, plays a ball forward, but there's nothing on there. Sakala picks up, Montgomery hadn't made the run that Wotherspoon was looking for. Rangers have it, Lundstrom tries to find Tillman, just right of centre, back goes Hallberg with the American international. Tillman's got the better of him, right hand side, across comes Mitchell to try and close him down. Tillman looking to take him on, oh, he's forgot to take the ball with him, and in steps Montgomery. I think the surface just playing a part there for Tillman, who's frustrated. He brings down Montgomery, and it'll be a St Johnstone free kick, 0-0.
Yeah, he slipped, but he was well outnumbered. I think 3 St Johnstone players had gone to cover him. That's when he's got to get his head up. Someone's spare with an orange jersey, Rangers jersey, in the middle of the park. Just play it and go. A really good pass from Lundstrom, wasn't it? Just a little cut ball to set him away free there.
Elliot Parish preparing to take the free kick from just left of his penalty area, already just taking his time over these kind of situations. As Johnstone look to make it to half-time without the loss of any goals. Alec Mitchell beats Cholak in the jump. Brown knocks it out to the left-hand side for St Johnstone. Tavernier wins the header though. Headed on by Lundstrom. Cholak in the halfway line. He and Lundstrom getting in each other's way. St Johnstone pick up. It's Nicky Clark trying to get away from Sands. Sands right on the back of him. Clark has to go back the way to Mitchell, just inside his own half. Plays it square to Considine. And he slides it forward, and Graham Carey picks up. Sakala trying to get back at him, but they've got a man over here. It's Montgomery. That's a lovely pass for Stevie May inside the penalty area, trying to get the shot away. Out comes Leon King, wins possession, and then just hacks it out of play as St Johnstone looked to threaten for more or less the first time. Yeah, well done Leon King for identifying that, but I tell you, that pass was on for at least a second and a half, and I know it doesn't sound a lot, but it is in football. Tavernier had gone wide, opened up that pass into Stevie May's feet that Witherspoon then plays. Just gaps starting to appear. If St Johnstone do get into the final third, they've certainly got players that can cause Rangers problems, just not been enough so far. Andrew Considine could cause them a problem with this long throw into the penalty area. It comes, Lundstrom rises highest, and then Sands helps it away out the penalty area, and forward will come Cholak up against Montgomery. Montgomery's done well. It comes back to Mitchell. Mitchell just fires it forward. Stevie May gives chase, claims for offside, but play continues. Then the flag goes up, and it will be a free kick to Rangers with 10 minutes of the first half remaining. It's still St Johnstone 0, Rangers 0. It's that trademark Stevie May run. Honestly, it's so tight that move. I'm surprised that they didn't allow play to go on and then pull it back later on. It certainly wasn't a real obvious one that you just put your flag up. Yeah, we're getting more and more used to late flags, but you're right, especially with the introduction of VAR. Normally they would be allowed to progress and see if anything comes of it, but the flag went up and Rangers had the free kick, which is taken. Here's Leon King almost exactly on the centre spot, coming forward now. St Johnstone, every man behind the ball. Nicky Clark goes across to his right to try and close down Davis. It's out to Barisic, left hand side of the penalty area is Lundstrom. Out it goes to Kent on the right foot. Short ball in for Tillman, tries to get it back to Kent. St Johnstone cut it out and Brown knocks it down the right flank and out of play. On the far side it'll be a Rangers throw in. They've been positive since the outset, Rangers, but they haven't managed to get that crucial opening goal. And the longer it goes, the more and more St Johnstone will believe they can take something from the game. They picked up possession inside their own half, and Hallberg with outside of the right boot tries to find Stevie May. It's a tired pass, Alistair. It's a little bit lazy as well, outside of the boot. Stevie May is not chuffed because he's making those runs, but he's had no quality to feed off of. Here's Barisic, left hand side. Clark trying to get back with him. Now Lundstrom, halfway line, tries to spread play out to the right hand side. Sakala, his touch takes it back to Tavernier. I don't know who he's looking for there, but it's come off the head of James Brown and behind for a corner, but Tavernier could have done better there. Yeah, but I think he's thinking that Ryan Kent will be in, and that's something that Ryan Kent doesn't do. We all know that. He doesn't get in at the back post to become a secondary striker. But I felt that was made just to step onto and smash. Lovely pass from Lundstrom again. Diagonal over the top. Sakala took a touch. And not sure if Sakala's touch was what he intended. I was just about to say, I think it was for himself, but he took heavy. But you could see the captain coming up there, and I just felt that Tavernier was just going to smash that with the laces. Short corner. Kent back to Tavernier on the edge of the box. Clips it in back post. Sakala and Montgomery battling for it, and it's going to be a free kick to St Johnstone in the end for Sakala's attentions on Montgomery at the back post. Sakala rather bemused by that decision. Yeah, I think it is a free kick. Montgomery gets himself in a good position between his goal and the man, not allowing Sakala to get in the inside of him. Sakala's got a big hold of his left arm where Montgomery has pinned him. And although it comes off the young defender to go out, which would have been a corner, it was a free kick. Just outside Elliot Parish's 6-yard box, the goalkeeper will launch this over the halfway line. Just over 7 minutes of the first half remaining as Davies knocks it back to his goalkeeper Alan McGregor, who immediately plays it out to Barisic. Rangers still looking for the opener, which, although they've dominated possession, dominated territory, they've still not really been able to test Elliot Parish all that much. In all honesty, the Lundstrom shot in about 10 minutes was the most that Parish has had to deal with, although Sakala also hit the bar with a header. Here's Barisic coming down the left-hand side. Into Cholak it goes. He's forced back the way by McGowan. McGowan sticking with him. Cholak still in possession.
It's good that from Ryan McGowan, because if you go in there, just stay with him. Don't pass him on. It creates gaps. It allows the striker to cut off scot-free and create something possible. So McGowan just stuck to his guns there. Cholak was giving him a little wag of the finger, but I don't have any problems whatsoever from Ryan McGowan doing that.
Rangers still have it. Tavernier down the right-hand side. Stevie May slides in and just manages to get a toe on the ball to knock it out of play.
He did well.
Thought he'd missed it altogether.
That was a 10-yard slide there. I thought he'd missed it as well.
Groundsman won't be happy with Stevie May after that one. But Rangers try and circulate possession once more. Then Davies goes longer out to the left-hand side looking for Tillman. Well won though in the jump by McGowan, and finds Brown. Clark struggling to keep a hold of it, and Davies steps in and steps forward down the left-hand side. Ben Davies coming up towards the edge of the penalty area, away from a couple of St Johnstone players. Tillman can't keep a hold of it. He's just drifted out the game a little bit, having started pretty influentially. Here's Lundstrom, edge of the centre circle, out to the right-hand side for Tavernier, just at the edge of the box. Tavernier into the penalty area. His cross comes, but it's picked up by McGowan, and he's got time to and the composure to find Wotherspoon, and then May picks up. Still inside his own half, finds Carey. Cholak working back to try and win possession for Rangers, but Brown keeps it and then finds Carey once more.
Good
Forward
pass.
ball for Wotherspoon.
He's in here.
Stevie May's on down the right-hand side. Only got Nicky Clark to aim for. The cross comes off a Rangers player in the shape of Ben Davies and into the arms of Alan McGregor, who immediately sets Rangers off and running once more through Lundstrom up towards the halfway line, looking for options. Still Lundstrom going. Halber comes to try and close him down. Lundstrom, he ran out of ideas there and he just gives up, and Montgomery picks up possession, and here comes St Johnstone and it's Carey. Lundstrom was furious with Sakala there, but he rather caught in two minds, and here comes Montgomery on the left-hand side up against Tavernier, looking to take him on. Inside the penalty area he goes. Tavernier just stands up, keeps his eye on the ball and wins possession. Montgomery trying to keep him penned in, and Tavernier's clearance is poor, and it's Carey looking to flick for May, picked up by Wotherspoon inside the penalty area, back for Stevie May. Can he get the shot in? It's blocked by Davies, comes out to Brown in the edge of the box. He gets the shot in. What a goal!
What a strike!
What a goal from James Brown! The first ever St Johnstone have had on goal, and it flies past Alan McGregor. James Brown with an absolute wonder hit. St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0.
I tell you, Alan McGregor has had nothing to do. But I don't think if he'd have been that warmed up, he would have got this either. I mean, this is right out the screws. You don't hit a better ball than this. Stevie May gets lucky around the corner. It's a little bit scrappy when it comes to him. He has a shot, it ricochets, I think, off of Ben Davies. When it comes back to Brown, who's 21, 22 yards out, he takes a touch, he steadies himself, and then he just absolutely unleashes a thunderbolt that Alan McGregor can only watch going past him, and nearly ripped the net off. What a strike, I tell you. You wouldn't believe it. Rangers have dominated this game so much, you can trace it right back to Lundstrom there. Having an argument with Sakala. I think Lundstrom can still get on the ball. He gave up. He's still talking to Sakala when St John's got up the pitch, and then what, 30 seconds later it's in the back of the net of Rangers. Incredible.
That's some way to open your account for the club. James Brown's first St Johnstone goal, and what a goal it was. An absolute peach of a strike. You couldn't have caught it any cleaner. A ferocious effort from the right wing back, and Alan McGregor flew to his left, but he was never stopping that. It was past him before he knew it. And St Johnstone, well, we said they would grow in confidence the longer it went 0-0. Well, that'll give them all the more confidence, as Rangers really have to respond now. 3 minutes to the break now, and St Johnstone have the advantage. And
they've worked hard though, Alistair. I mean, you can't grudge them it. Although they were under pressure, you know they're going to be under pressure. Rangers haven't really, as you say, put them to the sword with the amount of possession and attempts they've had on the goal. So St Johnstone have stuck at it. They've earned the right to be in the match with some really good defending at times, but that strike was just, I mean, he can play for another 10 years. I don't think he's hitting a better ball than that.
I saw him, I'm trying to think, I saw him hit the bar recently with a similar, you know, he'd been playing left wing back quite a lot this season, and he came in off the left and smashed one off the bar. It was really unlucky, and it was a similar kind of connection, but my goodness, he certainly got hold of that one, and he has his side in front, and really something to hold on to as Ryan Kent comes forward down the left hand side. Rangers looking to get back level before the interval. Out to Barisic, left hand side, cross comes in near post. Parish punches away, Cholak hits the deck, picked up in the edge of the box by Sands, headed away by McGowan. Sands goes down, the Rangers fans behind the goal claiming there was nothing, a foul in there, but certainly didn't see anything myself. As Stevie May picks up possession and finds Nicky Clark, and now it's the goal scorer Brown.
On here.
Yep, he does switch it to Wotherspoon on the left hand side. Tavernier comes across, Wotherspoon advancing down the left about 20 yards from the goal line, just being held up there by Tavernier. Surely a free kick. Stephen McLean allows play to continue. St Johnstone still in possession. Carey swings it in, and it's clutched by Alan McGregor, who immediately rolls it out to Kent. Kent back to Lundstrom. Just over a minute left of the opening 45. St Johnstone have the one goal advantage. Barisic trying to do something about that. Down the left into Cholak it goes. Mitchell up against him. Cholak on the left hand side slides it on. That come off Mitchell's arm as he slid in there.
I couldn't see, Alistair. It looked like it was body anyway. He was lying on the ground. If it did come off his arm while it was on the floor, I don't think he can do anything about it.
Yeah.
But he stuck to the defensive duties so well there, because Cholak took a little cheeky touch past him. I thought he had escaped him.
Here's Barisic, left hand side. Rangers looking for an equaliser, headed away by McGowan.
He's been a rock so far, hasn't he, Ryan McGowan? It was his header. We questioned whether it was a free kick. I think he smashed Sakala. Nothing in it for me, just nice and aggressive from the centre back.
Yeah, the back three as a whole have been excellent for St Johnstone. Here's Ben Davies. Just a few seconds left of the opening 45, plus any added on time. Rangers finding themselves already trailing Celtic in the league by 7 points. He simply cannot afford to be that far behind, even at this stage of the season. Here's Sakala, right hand side, trying to test Montgomery. He just pokes it past him. Montgomery sticking with him though. Sakala still has it down at the goal line. Montgomery using good strength, and knocks out of play. Would have been a corner, but Stephen McLean says not time up, no added on time at the end of the first half, which was dominated by Rangers. A couple of efforts from Lundstrom early on, which was saved, and then Sakala heading off the crossbar. St Johnstone had barely been seen as an attacking force, but then 4 minutes before the break they came forward after a breakdown in communication between Lundstrom and Sakala. They gave the ball away. St Johnstone broke forward. Stevie May had the ball on the edge of the box. It broke out to James Brown. The right wing back was about 22 yards from goal, right of centre, and he lashed the ball first time past Alan McGregor, who didn't get a sniff of it. Into the back of the net it went, and that is the only goal of the first half. It is St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0.
St Johnstone versus Rangers.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Well, Craig Levine, there is the perfect example. 45 minutes that you have no idea what is going to happen in this game we all love. It is astonishing, isn't it, that we've got a scoreline like that?
I'm sitting here, I can't believe what I've just seen. I mean, St Johnstone were barely in Rangers' half. I mean, you've got to give them credit, haven't you? I mean, because they've defended quite valiantly, and Rangers have been a bit wasteful in front of goals. But I mean, that's football for you. I mean, who would have said
you looked at, there were a couple of stats you were looking at. I think it was about 35 minutes in. St Johnstone at that point hadn't had a touch in the Rangers penalty area.
That's correct, yeah, that's right.
and Rangers at that point had 17 shots.
Yeah, so it just shows you football doesn't always work out the way you think it's going to work out. The Rangers dominated that half. Probably didn't have enough clear-cut opportunities, but all credit to St Johnstone. They dug in, they defended manfully, and they've managed to. And what a goal, of course. We need to talk about the strike, because the ball's come out to him. He's at an angle, and he's absolutely leathered it, hasn't he? Right in the top corner.
I guess it's one of those where, and I talk about this, and it happens so rarely with me when it comes to golf, but I would imagine that's one where he probably didn't almost even feel the ball touch his foot, because it was just such a sweet strike.
He's caught it at in the perfect spot. And I mean, the ball's flown into the top corner. Al McGregor has absolutely no chance.
No.
I mean, it's just a wonderful goal. But it's the bizarre nature of the game, isn't it? We've watched Rangers sort of, the next we're sober looking at one end, and then that happens. And I mean, things aren't going well for Rangers just now. Sometimes that happens when things aren't going particularly well.
I'm watching reruns. The ball is still accelerating as it hits the net. You kind of feel it probably would continue accelerating for about another 40 yards.
Yeah.
So well hit was it. They got a bit fortunate. The first ball into the box, Stevie May tries the back heel. It falls back for St Johnstone. Then he has a shot blocked, and it just falls perfectly for James Brown. But you need to capitalise on moments like that, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I don't think James Brown will have scored a goal like that in his life before. But what a moment for him to do it. I mean, it was just the perfect strike. And Alan McGregor's fantastic goalkeeper. And he couldn't get across quick enough. The ball was travelling that fast. But when they'll be going at half-time absolutely jubilant that they've managed to defend as well as they have done. They've kept Rangers out. They've got a clean sheet. They've got a goal in front. And now they've got something to fight for. Yeah,
and they've got a defensive unit. I've got to say, Elliot Parish back in for his first league start of the season, and I was there. It was a pre-season friendly actually when Cove played St Johnstone, and I've got to say the St Johnstone fans weren't having him. He was getting a fair bit of booing going on even that afternoon in the friendly. He looked a little bit nervous earlier on, but Rangers just haven't put enough pressure on him, have they?
No, they haven't. I mean, they've had loads and loads of play around about St Johnstone's box. They have put balls into the box. I mean, there have been some difficult situations for him, but he hasn't probably been tested enough.
One save from Lundstrom early on.
Yeah, he hasn't been tested enough. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, the 17 shots, I think it was 3 on target.
Yeah.
And that isn't good enough from Rangers' point of view. But this is going to be a tough second half for them, because I think St Johnstone are back to what they were last season. You know, the defending.
The season before, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So defending was the sort of strongest part of their game, and they were brilliant at it. Mm-hmm. And I think they're rediscovering that. I think going back to the back three, as Callum spoke about beforehand, has resulted in them feeling a little bit more comfortable. 3 central defenders, 3 big guys who can defend the box, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the bizarre nature of football.
There was a moment, and it ultimately was in the build-up to the goal, where Lundstrom comes across halfway, and he's got no real support. He kind of puts, I hate to see that anyway, but he puts his hands out almost to say, "Where are you, teammates? Come and help me." And then he kind of overruns it, and then when he could still have got the ball, he just stopped playing. And St Johnstone picks up from that point, and ultimately that led to the goal.
Not stopped playing, stopped running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In that situation where he's given the ball away, he's made a mistake, he was frustrated at himself, but to stand still and put your arms out as if, well, it's not my fault. I mean, I just don't understand what that was all about. It was a significant moment, because that was the moment that led to this attack for the goal.
Yeah. And we saw a close-up there of once the goal had gone in, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's face like thunder coming out of the technical area. If I don't know to what extent there was genuine pressure on him in terms of the potential of losing his job. He will always be under pressure because he's a Rangers manager. But he did not look clearly in a very good frame of mind as he came out there. And he's got a big job to do now, hasn't he? In the next few minutes.
I mean, St Johnstone, you know, they are really good at defending deep. You know, they're willing to throw their bodies in front of and block shots, and you know, do everything they can in a defensive sense to stop the opposition from playing. And now that they have got that goal to cling on to, I think they'll be even better in the second half. So Rangers are going to have to do better than they've done in this first half. And I mean, what I mean by that, in the last third, their play hasn't been crisp or accurate enough. They had loads of possession, and they've had loads of possession in St Johnstone's defensive third, but they haven't done enough with the ball and haven't created enough opportunity.
It's half-time in the early kick-off in the English Premier League as well. Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Neil McCann is back with us. I think we had to revive Neil. He can't quite believe what he's been watching either. It's astonishing, isn't it? And such great credit St Johnstone deserve for putting themselves in the position they have done.
Yeah, really, really good, Richard. I know it's been such a one-sided game. Alan McGregor had virtually done nothing, absolutely zero. And I think Ben Davies was so quiet as well, because any of the centre-backs that were doing any work was probably Leon King, because Stevie May was spinning that channel. But it was so comfortable. There was periods of the game that had to be addressed for me, looking at it from a higher position, as Craig will know, been up here in the commentary and getting the coach's head on, that there was areas of the pitch that St Johnstone needed to adapt, and credit to Callum, because I think he did it. There was that little space in between where Hallberg was sort of playing on his own, and he was getting attracted to certain players and leaving a big space into Čolak's feet, and Rangers were getting a bit of joy from it. But Callum, I could see actually having a word with Hallberg after about 15-20 minutes. They started to adapt it, but then Rangers started getting a few runs in behind, which they haven't been doing, Richard. But I think St Johnstone have defended really, really well. That centre-back three has been asked a lot of questions from Čolak, who I think's been really good as a lone striker. He's been making good runs in between the outsides and the middleman. But when it's been there to defend, I think they've been excellent. McGowan has been a standout for me. Made an early mistake letting Tillman, but aggressive, has grown into the game. Mitchell, solid. Considine's experienced by coming in at times and being the central one and making crucial blocks. And the midfield three, I think, has been so important because I think they were out of shape at first, but since they've got to grips with it, they've been a lot more solid. And yeah, I think you're right. I think sometimes you can be deserving of a lead at half time in different ways, and St Johnstone have set it to be hard to break down and get lone forays up into the final third of Rangers. But I mean, we're just looking. I'm going to let Al come out. He's got a nice wee start on James Brown for that goal, but I mean, he won't hit a better. He won't. He's telling me I can say it. Can I say it? Is that all right? That's his only goal, his career goal, is it? Have you done it already?
You've obviously done exactly what I did, because when off the back of Craig saying, I can't imagine he scored a goal as good as that in his career, I thought, I'll have a wee look and see how many he scored. None. Well, hasn't scored ever.
A big grand total of 0. So I'm going to give Alistair his place here. He dug it up, he showed me it. But I'm telling you, I don't care if he scores another 20. They'll go something to beat that, because there's nothing in it. I mean, he's not as if he does any warm-ups or into areas for crossing. He's one cross I remember we get by Barisic, but it's so sweet, it's so pure, and it's so deserving of that one goal lead that they've got just now.
You probably never want to score again anyway now.
You can't emulate that, no chance.
I was trying to think his celebration actually, because if that's his first goal, I don't remember it being too mental.
No, well, he certainly had a look of surprise maybe on his face.
But things are the way that, this is typical. Rangers are having a tough time just now, Neil. So, and when you're having a tough time, these things happen, don't they?
Oh yeah, you do.
It seems to be that you can't get anything right, and they've had loads of possession, they've had loads of shots at goal, but there's only really 3 on target, I believe, so far.
Craig, you've been there as a manager yourself. Sometimes you've been comfortable
too many times,
and you get that sick feeling when you concede a goal and you think, here we go. You know, this is just the way it's going at the minute. But the stats are good for Rangers in terms of what they've done after European games. There's still 45 minutes. You have to think that sooner or later they need to be a little bit more clinical and make Elliot Parish work more for his money in that St Johnstone goal. They can shake it up. They've got Morelos on the bench here, Matondo, so they can Arfield as well if they need more of a goal threat. But you would have to think the law of averages wouldn't allow St Johnstone to hold out if they continue like that in the second half, Richard. That's what I would say.
Would you be making changes right now?
I would be. I think Čolak's done well. I think Arfield would be the main one that I'd want. Tillman is a player that started the game well. I've been really frustrated with him, as everyone knows, watching him this season. And I think Scott Arfield would be the obvious one that might come on for him, or maybe even a Sands going off, because I don't think they need 2 players that can hold the game. So Lundstrom could probably do that anchor one. The only other thing that I would say though is taking Sands off. That if one of the centre backs go off, then he can slip in there. So I do think that one of the deeper line ones, Sands or Lundstrom, could make way for an
What did you
Arfield.
make of that Lundstrom moment, the incident we were discussing?
I thought it was ridiculous, and I did refer to it when I was describing the goal, because as frustrated as you can be, and I know that it must be, because Sakala, as I said, the refinement of the intricacies of the game, I don't think that he owns yet. I think he still needs to brush up on that. But he's so infectious for Rangers in terms of adding energy and power. But as a midfielder running, you want an early ball. I think John could have played it. He kept running. I think he's wanting Sakala to go in behind. I think then Sakala checks and then he goes. I don't think there's any thought process between the two of them, any telepathy. But when he actually just stops, like you and Craig, he actually could have still got it, but he put the engine off and walked and allowed, I think it was Montgomery, was it, just to step on, walk away from him. And I'm watching it I'm watching both in peripheral here. He's still having a go at Sakala, well, St Johnstone are breaking up the pitch. There's no like turn round and get the head down and try and burn 15 yards to make an effort to coming back. It's his mistake. He's in control of the ball. Whether he feels it's Sakala should make a better run or more of an effort to get on the ball is one thing, but he's in control. You are always in control of every decision when you're in control of that ball, and for me, he's culpable for that mistake.
So from Callum Davidson's point of view, Craig, he just sends his players out and looks for them to do exactly the same. Keep up the work. You were talking about this, how hard you have to work when you are being dominated, certainly in a sense of possession as they have been.
Yeah, and goals are so critical to help players find more energy. So St Johnstone go in at 1-0 down, they're feeling, it's going to be tough to come back against Rangers. They go in 1-0 up, they've got something to cling on to, and that you find extra energy. And particularly as a defender, you that clean sheet becomes the thing now that is the most important thing for St Johnstone, because that clean sheet gets them a victory. So it's as simple as that. And now that the Rangers have not given, because you could never say that about a goal of that quality, but what's happened is that St Johnstone have got something now that they all got a common cause. They all know that if they don't concede a goal, they're going to beat Rangers, and haven't beaten Rangers for an awful long time, actually. I think it was 2010. I had maybe Al saying earlier on. I wasn't sure when it was, but I mean it's such a long time. So they've got a reason to be even more resolute in their defending, and for Rangers that will make things difficult.
Yeah, and the other side of that, if they see this through, they're up into 5th place, and when you consider, I mean, it's not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, it seems almost, that there was starting, you felt maybe a bit more pressure on Callum because obviously of what happened last season, and that was a really, really tough campaign for them. But he's talked throughout of feeling that they were getting back to that St Johnstone that we saw in the season that you were talking about. And if he can find that for the next 45 minutes, this is going to be a big, big afternoon for him, isn't it?
This is going to be, I would say it's probably going to be a bigger afternoon for Rangers, because they need to win today. There's no doubt about that. And I think they're 7 points behind Celtic, I think. And now if that goes to 10... No,
but it'll be 7... if they don't win today, it will be 7.
It stays 7. Sorry,
You don't get 3 taken off.
I know, you get 6 in total.
Callum would have loved that, Craig. 6-pointer.
Dude, I'm rewriting
ahead
the rules.
at half-time,
I'm rewriting the rules.
and you're still ahead at full time. You get another 3 points. Anyway, 1-0 it is. Players back out. This could be engrossing for the next 45. Let's get back to Neil and Al.
Thanks, Rich. Sun's come out for the second half. Players back out as well, and no changes from either side, but certainly all the Rangers substitutes were out doing a fairly rigorous warm-up at the interval. St Johnstone to get us back underway, going from left to right as we look at it from the back of the main stand. That was a lovely little stat about James Brown, first career goal, and what a goal to get yourself off the mark, not only for St Johnstone but in your entire career, as Rangers have an early throw-in on this near side now, the left-hand side for Rangers, and I wonder what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst would have been saying at half-time. I mean, he would have been relatively pleased with a lot of what Rangers did.
I think the only thing he would have a moan about is the finishing touch, the gloss on the first half performance in terms of the territorial advantage, the ball advantage, shots on goal advantage. There's nothing to show for it.
Here's Tillman, left-hand side. He's got Sands in field, but he goes back the way to Davies instead. Davies just inside his own half, out to the far side to Rangers captain James Tavernier, midway inside St Johnstone half. Rangers could certainly do with a fairly sharpish equaliser to get them back into a positive mood. Here's Cholak on the goal line, tries to force it across goal, but it's forced behind again for an early Rangers corner. And in this second half, they must have been well into double figures for corners in the first period. And they've got another one at the start of this second half on the right hand side to be taken by James Tavernier. 1-0 St Johnstone from that late first half strike by Brown. Tavernier into the box, it comes, headed away as St Johnstone continue to hold out. Defended manfully in that first period, and they'll look to do the same in the second 45. So close to getting something from the game, as I mentioned, against Celtic recently, and they are 44 minutes away from getting something. Not just something, but a victory.
Don't worry, that clock will run very slow for St Johnstone and very quick for Rangers.
The last league win over Rangers came at Ibrox actually in 2017, December 2017.
Well, the old baseball cap getting produced there for the keeper, Elliot Parish. Alistair?
Yeah, the sun is in his eyes in this second period.
Now, if he goes for a pair of tracky bottoms after this, then we're asking what's going on. I've not seen that for a long time. In fact, I tell you a lie, I saw someone was doing it in England not so long ago, wasn't he? Against was it against Liverpool? Oh, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the English goalkeepers put on the hat. Henderson, maybe.
Well, we'll see what effect it has in the second period, as Rangers will no doubt try to put some pressure on Elliot Parish in the second half as Barisic helps it forward down the left hand side. Kent gives chase, across comes McGowan. Kent gets the first touch on it.
Really good.
Yeah, McGowan just sees it out of play, and a goal kick to St Johnstone. Almost 3 minutes of the second half gone. St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0. Yeah, it was a 3-1 victory December 2017. Since then in the league they've drawn 3 and lost 11 against Rangers, and as Craig was pointing out, it was March 2010, a 4-1 victory here over Rangers, and they've drawn 3 and lost 12 since then. But there was that Scottish Cup win on penalties after they equalised so late on in the 90 minutes. St Johnstone, when Zander Clark came up, and I think it was Chris Kane from memory who got the equaliser eventually. Here comes Sakala looking for a Rangers equaliser, looking for Kent, but cut out by McGowan once more, and Graham Carey picks up right hand side for St Johnstone, and he's fouled by Barisic. It'll be a St Johnstone free kick in the halfway line.
Yeah. See, to be honest, Halberg's lucky he doesn't get pulled up there. I thought he tried to chop Sakala going through with Stephen McLean. He's very, very lucky to escape a yellow card there. It's very cynical, missed the challenge. But when the ball goes to Ryan Kent, I think Ryan Kent's run needs to be wider. He needs to peel out. I don't think Sakala had much of a gap to play it into.
McGowan forwards, headed away by Davies as May made the run. Clark though picks up possession for St Johnstone, and out to the goal scorer Brown right hand side into the area. May dummies it, Lundstrom sweeps it away from the edge of the box, and it'll be picked up by Ryan Kent. Decent first touch, Brown tries to get back at him, still Kent, infield for Sands nudges it on for Lundstrom, gets it back once more. Wotherspoon was trying to close them down, and he ran into the referee, and he's not pleased with Stephen McLean. He'll be even less pleased if this leads to a Rangers equaliser. It's Sakala right hand side up to the edge of the penalty there. Still Sakala, back heel for Tavernier, edge of the box, tries to get away from Wotherspoon, sends it in deep. Cholak's up there, but so too is Brown. Brown gets one header, then a second header, and it comes out to the near side, and it'll be a Rangers throw-in. 50 minutes almost played. St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0.
Tell me, I know they can trace it right back to the phase of play if a goal was scored. What would have happened there if Kenny McLean was deemed to have blocked Nicky Clark or Wotherspoon from going making an attempt there? Oof, would have blown the lid off it.
Here's Barisic, left hand side, gets it back from Lundstrom, and now Kent about 35 yards from the goal line. Rangers going back the way though. Lundstrom for Davies, back to Kent now, coming forward this time, slides it forwards for Cholak. Did he stay on side? The assistant keeps his flag down for now. Yeah. Then he puts it up. Yeah,
that one was clear.
Yeah, it looked clear, didn't it?
Really good line from Considine. He's the furthest centre back, then it's Mitchell, and the information is coming from Considine just to step out, and in unison they all did it, to be fair. Really
well drilled,
really good teamwork there. I know Callum saying going back to the 3, which has been a hallmark of the success this St Johnstone team. Under Callum, I think they're much more comfortable in it.
Yeah, they look it, and it does allow them to have that twin strike force as well. Nicky Clark and Stevie May. Elliot Parish takes the free kick then, and up it goes. Nicky Clark wins the header. Stevie May couldn't keep a hold of it, and now Kent gets it to Tillman, halfway line. Tillman doing well to keep possession. Out to the left hand side for Kent. Kent looks up, left footed cross early on. Oh, there's a free kick gone against Tillman for a challenge on Wotherspoon off the ball. Wotherspoon furious with Tillman, and it was completely off the ball. I was following play as Cholak was going for the cross from Kent, but Tillman obviously been penalised for whatever he did to Wotherspoon. Stephen McLean spotted it, and it will be a free kick to St Johnstone midway inside their own half. 1-0 St Johnstone lead. Yeah,
well, Davy Wotherspoon's actually he's been done with Tillman. When Tillman played it to Kent, Wotherspoon's doing his defensive duties by working hard to get back in. Tillman cuts across him, impedes him, brings him down, and that's why Stephen McLean has drawn the free kick.
Parish to take the free kick, and Stephen McLean's going to make him take it again because it wasn't far enough back.
That cap's covering his ears, I think. I'm not sure.
it looked like it was more or less from the position that Wotherspoon and Tillman had gone down. Oh, in fact, what's happening is there's a VAR check for something, I think, because Stephen McLean's got his finger to his ear. No, it seems to be.
On.
Yeah, whatever it is quickly over. Possibly just checking the nature of that challenge between Tillman and Wotherspoon. Anyway, Parish will take the free kick once more. Down the right hand side it goes. Here's May, can't hold on to possession. Excuse me. Here's Lundstrom. Wotherspoon picks up the loose bit of play from Lundstrom. Carey now, right hand side for St Johnstone, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Might find room for the shot there, closed down, breaks to Hallberg, he gets the shot in, away by King. St Johnstone doing a bit more attacking. Lundstrom wins the header. Almost 8 minutes of the second half played. Still 1-0 St Johnstone. Tillman tries to flick it on for Kent. Can't get enough on it. And St Johnstone managed to clear. Barisic going back towards his own goal. Right-footed pass back to Alan McGregor on the edge of his 6-yard box. Didn't have an earthly with that St Johnstone goal. And he knocks it forward to Sands. Out to the right hand side it goes to Tavernier. Tavernier coming forward, slides it looking for Cholak. Cholak has it in the penalty area, in for Lundstrom. Oh, it's another brilliant interception by Andrew Considine. Out comes Elliot Parish to congratulate him and help him back to his feet, but absolutely vital from Considine.
Yeah, superb. Another run. Cholak in between, as I was talking about what he's been doing all afternoon, outside centre back and centre one. But there was Andy Considine. He had to be there as well because Lundstrom was looking for a tap in.
Tavernier corner from the right hand side. Rangers looking for the equaliser. In it comes, edge of the penalty area. Barisic lashes it way off target from the edge of the box. He was never set really for the shot, and it remains St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0.
I actually think I would have liked the look of that coming towards him onto the left foot, you know, coming across it, getting hit, but he was under a bit of pressure from Graham Carey. I think that's what maybe attracted his attention, the flying boot, maybe just took his eye off it ever so slightly, but I think he would have enjoyed that one coming to him. His eyes would have lit up there.
Yeah, well, he certainly didn't hit it with any great composure, did he? And it was way off target. Certainly capable of better than that. 9 minutes of the second half played. Rangers trailing by a goal to 0. Tillman wins the header in the middle of the park. It's Sands that picks up on the halfway line, trying to drive Rangers forward. Down the left he comes. Brown is with him. Sands, the American international, back in field for Tillman. Tillman out, looking to the right hand side. It's cut out by Montgomery as Sakala was the target. Wotherspoon picks up and plays it back to Considine. Considine clears down the left hand side, straight out of play. 10 minutes almost gone in the second period. Still as it was at half time, St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0. And I don't think it'll be too long, Neil, before we see Giovanni Van Bronckhorst shuffling his pack.
No, you would imagine it'll come pretty soon.
Here's Sands out to the left for Kent. Up against Brown, across comes Carey. Kent steps away from him onto the right foot, looking for room for the shot. Kent curls one straight into the arms of Elliot Parish. It was a good opportunity for Kent, he made it himself, but he just couldn't find the right angle for the shot, couldn't get it far enough away from Parish, and it remains St Johnstone 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, Carey coming out and to help Brown, doubled up. Kent just driving inside. Thought he was going to whip across because he had Cholak and Lundstrom going through the centre. It was a shot, but it didn't really trouble the St Johnstone goalkeeper at all.
Comfortable, wasn't it? Carey, it's lovely forward for May into Clark. Clark gets it back to May inside the penalty area, right hand side. Back comes Lundstrom, gets something on the ball, forces May out of the box on the right hand side. May's done well, he's wriggled past him. Still Stevie May into the 6-yard box. Can Clark get the shot in on goal? McGregor dives on it, he's kept it out just. Alan McGregor is furious with something inside the 6-yard box, but Rangers living dangerously.
Alan McGregor is going tonto, he wants to start the game again. Stevie McLean not allowing Nicky Clark to do anything about it. Nicky Clark actually loses his foot, and it was a good little ball. He should have just bounced it. He had I don't know who was going around. Was it Witherspoon actually?
It is Witherspoon, in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it Witherspoon taken it in and tried to roll it into the path of Nicky Clark. Then I think Rangers were in a lot of bother, but McGregor dived on it. There was a suggestion of a kick out from Witherspoon, but nothing for me. Rangers
have it moving once more, but they certainly can't afford to fall 2 goals behind in their search for the 3 points here. King out to Tavernier. Tavernier forward for Lundstrom, edge of the penalty area, right hand side, out to Sakala. Sakala into the feet of Kent, who's coming off the left and slides it back to Barisic. Barisic clips it into the area. It's not a good ball, it's hacked away, and Wotherspoon helps it further on. Breaks Hindley there for Clapp, but he's giving it away there. And Rangers come forward once more. Cholak looking interested, but again McGowan is in there with an important header. Poor clearance though, second time around from St Johnstone, and Tillman will pick up. But again, all that back three are just doing so much good work defensively. McGowan on that occasion.
Yeah, at different times, Alistair, they've done some brilliant work. Really good anticipation of danger from Ryan McGowan there.
Here's Kent left hand side, Barisic on the overlap, early cross into the deep one. Tavernier's up there, it comes off his chest and goes behind. He's leaped highest.
I think that's got to be a corner, surely.
Yeah, I thought it came off Tavernier last, I have to say.
Did you?
I did, but clearly Tavernier didn't, and the officials did. So
no, I think he wins the header. It's a super deep cross from Barisic, and he's up. Oh, it might have come off the back of Montgomery. It's inconclusive there. You might have been right.
St Johnstone goal kick in the end anyway. 58 minutes played as Considine turns it back to his goalkeeper under pressure from Tillman. Cleared first time by Parish. Sakala wins the header out on the right hand side for Rangers. Picked up by Lundstrom. He gets it back from Sands. There is going to be a change. We'll get news of that from our pitchside reporter Carradine.
A double change coming for Rangers. Alfredo Morelos is getting stripped, and so is Scott Arfield. So 58 minutes played, and Giovanni Ronaldo is about to change things up.
Yeah, here's Sakala inside the penalty area. Can he get a shot away? He can, but it's way off target. But it was a poor challenge, went in off the ball there late on, and it was Montgomery who's been yellow carded after the fact for the challenge on Sands, I think it was.
Yeah, Sands just plays it through, and it looked worse, I think, than what it actually is. I think Sands sees it, rides it. But there's the classic example of Sakala not getting his head up. I think he had a little cut back to Tillman, who'd pulled free around about maybe 12, 13 yards out, but elected to get the shot on. But yeah, they're going to make the substitution here, just shake it up. They realises that the sooner this happens, then it can change the flow of the game and make Rangers more of a threat. Giovanni van Bronckhorst.
Yeah, almost an hour played, and the changes, they're going to be taken before the goal kick is taken.
What we're waiting on, is there a VAR check on the challenge, maybe?
Very possibly. Trying to look in on our colleagues from Sky's monitors, which are just to our right.
Yeah, I'm glad they did have a look at it, Alistair, but I'm glad it wasn't given as a red card, because it never was. Yeah,
the PA announcer was telling us actually that a VAR check was taking place. Couldn't quite hear, it was quite muffled. Here's Stevie May, right hand side for St Johnstone as they look for a second goal. Nicky Clark well over the bar, the former Rangers man, couldn't keep the first time effort down. But St Johnstone are getting a little bit of joy in the counter as that Rangers double change is about to happen. And as Carradine said, Alfredo Morelos and Scott Arfield, the two players to come on, and Ben Davies is coming off here, so it's very attacking change, although I guess James Sands will just drop back into that central defensive area, and Malik Tillman, the other Rangers player, to come off. So are we going to see a twin strike force now?
Looks like it.
Morelos and Cholak?
Yeah, it looks like it. And just I'm looking at the makeup of the back lads.
Yeah, Sands have just...
Yeah, it's a 4-4-2. I mean, it's not that often we've seen this type of formation from Rangers.
Needs must.
Yep.
We're going to see how Cholak and Morelos can combine up front in the closing half hour here. Sands actually looks like he's still drifting further forward, which is a fairly risky...
I think he can, Alistair, because of the way St Johnstone are funneling back.
Here he is. Finds Morelos. Morelos tries to get out to the left hand side to Kent, but that's cut out by Carey, and St Johnstone will look to try and counter, and here they go through Carey. Nicky Clark making the run, Barisic trying to go back with him. Lovely pass by Carey. Brilliant challenge by Barisic.
What a pass.
He just had to make that because Nicky Clark was almost in on goal there, but Carey with the outside of the left boot, so close to finding Nicky Clark.
Yeah, full marks to Borna Barisic though, because had he missed that, that was a red card. all day long, waiting to happen, but he got a boot on it. And again, like Lundstrom did in the lead up to the St Johnstone goal, where he just stopped. Stevie May actually stopped in the wide area as well, looking for a foul. Had he just anticipated that, he indeed himself would have been in.
Here is Stevie May on the left-hand side, away from King, in for Clark. It's a
That's
goal!
a brilliant goal, you know.
St Johnstone have got another one. Stevie May from the left-hand side into Nicky Clark, and he got in front of his marker to direct it beyond Alan McGregor, who's shouting the odds at his defence. He cannot believe that the cross has been allowed to come in, and when it did, Nicky Clark pounced to make it St Johnstone 2, Rangers 0.
For different reasons, this is a brilliant goal, just as good as the first one we saw in the first half. That was a pure strike. This is just such good play from Stevie May. Just rolls, then King out in the wide area, puts it into an area. I tell you, he's a yard beyond the front post, and Nicky Clark darts across the face of Borna Barisic, and with the outside of the right boot just flicks it past Alan McGregor into the top corner. It's a quite brilliant finish. Really well played from Stevie May. I tell you, he's grown into the match, Stevie. He's had nothing to do in the early part of the game, but he started to run channels. He started getting a bit of service in the second half, and that is a hammer blow. The Rangers just making the substitutions to get themselves back in it, be more of a threat. Well, I tell you, they're going to need them now, because that's 2 goals down.
24 goals in his 110 appearances for Rangers between 2013 and 2016, and Nicky Clark has dealt a potentially fatal blow to Rangers' title hopes. I don't think it's too early to say that. Here's Ryan Kent, left-hand side, as they look to try and get back into the game. Can't get away from Brown though. Still Kent outside the penalty area now. Barisic in support. Barisic back to Kent from the left-hand side. Flights it in, comes off Hallberg, and then Wotherspoon. Sands picks up right-hand side. Stevie May working back to get the ball out of play over on the far side. Rangers throwing. We've played 63.5 minutes, and the St Johnstone fans here absolutely jubilant, looking for a first home win against Rangers in 12 years. Here's Lundstrom. It's a long, long way back for Rangers. Here's Kent, left-hand side, up against Brown. Will he go left? Will he go right? It's a left-footed cross. Comes in, Morelos can't get on the end of it.
Brilliant, son. Considine coming in there, right, identified the trouble, leaves Cholak, comes in, wins a header. Top class defending.
St Johnstone come on the counter. It's Stevie May leading it. Set up Nicky Clark a moment ago. This time he can't find his strike partner, and Rangers break up play and win possession back, and will try and come forward. They've only got 25 minutes to find effectively 3 goals they need. I wonder if they'd settle for 2. Here's Sakala. It's a decent ball, but it's just ahead of both Cholak and Arfield, and it's behind for a goal kick. 25 minutes to play. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's a great ball, Alistair, from that wide area. It just needs a little bit more bend on it. I don't think Cholak can go any earlier as well. Those 3 centre-backs are keeping a solid line, as we've already seen with stepping out. They're keeping a right good line, so it means that the 2 strikers have to time their runs perfectly. It was just fizzed too much, too straight.
Elliot Parish about to take the goal kick, unbeaten so far this afternoon. Arfield wins the header on the halfway line, then Kent picks up, tries to spin away from Hallberg. He's brought to the ground. It will be a Rangers free kick just inside the St Johnstone half, to be taken by Borna Barisic. Quickly back to Sands. Sands out to Tavernier on the right hand side. Now it's Sakala picking up on the right touchline, forward for John Lundstrom. Hallberg goes across with him, almost down at the corner flag. Back to Sakala. Sakala infield for Sands. Sands about 25 yards from goal, clips it into the penalty area. It's a poor ball though from Sands, straight into the arms of Elliot Parish. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 0.
What they can't do, Rangers, is lose their composure and just start going reckless and throwing bodies all over the place. I think there's still enough time in the game for them to get back in it, but they need better quality, of course, and just be a wee bit more composed in possession of the football.
Parish's clearance goes all the way through to his opposite number, Alan McGregor. Rangers have already shipped points away from home against Hibs in the 2-2 draw at Easter Road, and of course in that thumping by Celtic 4-0 they lost at Celtic Park. They've won their other 3 on their travels, but they trail by 2-0 this afternoon, and hasn't looked overly likely that they'll do anything about it as Kent hits the deck looking for a free kick, but Stephen McLean saw nothing amiss, and it will be a St Johnstone throw-in on this near side. St Johnstone right, and every time the ball goes out of play, St Johnstone are just going to take as long as they possibly can to get it back in. Ryan McGowan to take this throw in just in front of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst there in the technical area, and he'll come under more pressure if this result stays, the scoreline stays as it is. Nicky Clark picking up from poor Rangers play on the right hand side, finds Wotherspoon 25 yards from goal, looking to get it onto the right foot. Now Carey trying to get away from Tavernier, spins away from him, finds Wotherspoon once more, back it goes to McGowan, midway inside the Rangers half, quarter of the game remaining, clips it forward looking for Nicky Clark. Tavernier gets back though to head out to the left hand side. Barisic now just down the line for Ryan Kent, still well inside the Rangers half, tries to come forward and link with Arfield. Arfield trying to get it back to him, it's a poor pass. Arfield has to make the challenge then on Hallberg, and it'll go out eventually for a St Johnstone throw-in. 22.5 minutes played at McDiarmid Park in the second period, and the home side lead by 2-0. James Brown and Nicky Clark on the score sheet for Callum Davidson's men as they look for a famous victory. Barisic gets his head to the ball, down the left it goes. Brown heads it out of play. It'll be a Rangers throw-in. Rangers haven't looked inspired, Neil, since having gone further behind.
No, they haven't, no. But I think St Johnstone, if anything, had a huge lift from that second goal. They're starting to look confident, and of course they can pick their times when they go forward now.
Here's Sands for Rangers, closed down by Hallberg. Barisic out to Kent, left hand side, one-on-one against Brown. Can he take him on the outside? He tries to do that, chops back in, he's away from Brown, up to the edge of the penalty area, tries to take on McGowan as well, gets the break of the ball, but across comes Hallberg, ball still in play, and the Swede comes away with possession and finds Brown, and then Arfield sweeps the legs away from Brown. Just wondering why Kent didn't deliver the cross.
He's got to put it in, because he's given James Brown a tough time in this right back area by going past him, and then McGowan comes out on the cover. He tries a double shuffle when actually all it needed was just put the ball in the box. I mean, you're 7 yards from the byline, you've got an opening there, just feed it into the gap. You've got Morelos in there, you've got Cholak, you've got Lundstrom arriving, Sakala back post, plenty of bodies to hit. Don't overcook it.
Elliot Parish takes a free kick, knocks it long. Clark can't win it, Sands does. Brought down though by Wotherspoon. Barisic will go and chase the through ball, knocks it back to Alan McGregor. McGregor quickly under pressure there from Carey, gets it to Sands though, and Rangers come forward. Cholak back for Tavernier on the right hand side. It's Sakala midway inside the St Johnstone half, coming up towards the edge of the penalty, back in for Tavernier. Tavernier squeezes it to Morelos back to Lundstrom, just wide. There was a chance for John Lindstrom to reduce the arrears, and he thought he'd found the bottom corner. Elliot Parish was beaten, but it squeezed the wrong side of the post as far as Rangers are concerned. Remains St Johnstone 2, Rangers 0, 20 to play.
He's an absolute spectator too, Elliot Parish. I mean, 5 inches to the right there, it would have found the bottom corner and off the post. But I think the play from Sakala was good, it was encouraging. Tavernier getting up there, nice composure from Lundstrom, not to smash at it, but just like it's been off target, nothing absolute definitive about it.
He scored in his last 3 league games, John Lundstrom, but just off target there. As Rangers continue to trail by 2-0, goals in either half from James Brown and then Nicky Clark, as in slides Carey on Kent, breaks the way of Sands midway inside the St Johnstone half, central area. He loses possession of the ball, just dithers on the ball and coughs it up to Hallberg. St Johnstone come forward, Clark can't keep it. It's Barisic, he makes a real hash of it, but they win it back off Wotherspoon. Comes to Stevie May, who's tried to beat Alan McGregor from inside his own half.
Good effort.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah.
McGregor saw it all the way.
Yeah, he's not going to do McGregor because he doesn't get any pace on it, but it was sitting up. Lovely awareness from Stevie May.
And why not when you're 2-0 up? Full of confidence, Stevie May. It is good to see him back in that kind of confident vein of form. No, he hasn't scored today, but he set up the second and was involved in the first as well, and he has been back among the goals this season, and he looks more like the player we all remember him being certainly in his first period at St Johnstone.
Yeah, he's a bit of a maverick, Stevie. He's unpredictable, he makes good runs, he's strong, he can come up with something really out of nothing, to be honest, and we haven't seen that spark from him, but really pleasing for Callum Davidson now, because he's a huge player for them, full of experience, but he's a goal threat.
Elliot Parish has had the ball in his hands for at least 10 seconds. He's complaining that he can't clear it because Antonio Cholak's in his way, and Stephen McLean has given an indirect free kick to St Johnstone inside their own penalty area. Now, so is he saying that Cholak's obstructing
Yeah, I think that's
Parish
what
here
he's saying.
effectively?
Yep. But Elliot Parish was getting the old finger wagged at him there.
He'll take the free kick from just inside his own penalty area. Barisic heads it over the halfway line. Arfield picks up and finds Cholak. Cholak inside the centre circle, out to the right hand side for Sakala. Rangers looking for a way back into the game. Sakala into the box. It's Mitchell who gets the clearance this time. Behind for another Rangers corner. They've got just over a quarter of an hour.
Good position from Mitchell. Absolute dead centre of the goal. Morelos doing his trademark spin to the back post. Wasn't a bad ball from Sakala.
Tavernier with the corner, right hand side, right footed, out swinger into the 6-yard box. Parish hasn't really dealt with that particularly well, but Carey was first to it to smash it up to the halfway line, where Leon King's the only player waiting. He finds Sands. Sands steps away from Hallberg and plays it out to the left hand side for Ryan Kent. Kent up against Brown once more on the left, tries to do him for speed. Brown sticks with him though. It's gone behind for a Rangers corner, this time on the left hand side. 17 minutes to play. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 0. Another game to come this afternoon, Hearts against Motherwell. Stick with us for that. After the drama here, Barisic into the penalty area. It's headed away again. It comes to Tavernier, edge of the box, gets the shot. It's a goal. Rangers have got one back. The skipper threw a ruck of bodies. Parish saw it late, couldn't keep it out. He got a hand to it, but Tavernier struck it well enough. Rangers have a way back in with 16 to play. It's St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1.
Well, how many times has the captain been to Rangers rescue? It strikes it. I mean, there's plenty of pressure on the ball, and it does come through a ruck of bodies. Maybe the sun has played its part there from Elliot Parish. It takes a nick, but it's so close to him. It's right in the middle of the goals, and I think Elliot Parish should save it. But that goal from Tavernier has given Rangers a real lifeline. I did say there's plenty of time, and there should be no panic. Just make sure you're doing your jobs right and have better composure, make better decisions. But I feel Elliot Parish has allowed that to go past him there, when in hindsight, when he looks at it, he should save it. It's right down the middle, Alistair.
Yeah, he got something on it, but not enough to keep it out. And Tavernier's 7th goal of the season means that Rangers have reduced the deficit from 2-0 to 2-1. And here they come once more now, looking for an equaliser. It's Kent up against Brown. Across comes Carey to try and help out Brown. Kent goes down under the challenge of Carey. Nothing wrong with it though. And Brown will come forward with the ball. Kent chases him. Up to the halfway line comes Brown, who just get tugged back there by Kent. Steve McLean didn't see it. Play continues. Rangers have it. Barisic. Wonder if that would be checks.
Yeah, if they score here, I think that'll get pulled back there.
Yeah, here's Sakala, right hand side. Runs into Montgomery. Morelos can't make anything of it, and now it's Wotherspoon picking up for St Johnstone. Over on the left hand side, closed down by Sakala, but St Johnstone keep hold of it through Montgomery, and it will be a St Johnstone throw-in the end. 15 to play. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1. We've got a game in our hands here.
Yeah, we certainly have. I think St Johnstone's whole mindset would have changed there with conceding that goal as well, because they could pick their times when to go forward. Thought they looked in possession, they looked comfortable in terms of confidence, but that has just changed the reflection of the game.
Rangers have it halfway line. Arfield for Barisic. Barisic comes forward and plays it infield to Lundstrom. Wotherspoon tries to close him down, but Lundstrom steps away from him, goes for goal from distance. It's crashed off the crossbar, and the rebound's so powerful that it escapes both Cholak and Arfield, who are chasing it in. So unlucky. Here comes Sakala, right hand side, into the box it comes, cleared away. May picks up and just lashes it forward, but John Lundstrom with an effort that was almost the equal of James Brown's first half effort, but it came back off Elliot Parish's crossbar and away to safety. Still 2-1. Here's Kent, left hand side for Rangers, into the back post. Tavernier's up there again, wins the header. Great save from Elliot Parish, and it's behind for a corner.
Well, I'm not sure if there's a big helping hand from Tavernier on the back of Montgomery there. That might have been looked at, but it was a great stop from Elliot Parish.
Tavernier's corner, right hand side, in it comes. It's over just about everyone. Comes to McGowan at the back post. He heads it clear. Arfield and Kent between them pick up possession for Rangers. Kent finds Arfield once more, left hand side. Back it goes to Kent. about 30 yards from goal, swings it in, but it's headed away by Hallberg.
They're looking tired, St Johnstone. That period of time, you just know that goal has changed the mindset. Suddenly they start to look a wee bit more heavy-legged. Rangers have found a spring in their step.
Yeah, despite the midweek game, Rangers looking the fresher side just at the moment. St Johnstone have had to do a lot of defending in this game, a lot of hard work, and they have a 2-1 lead to defend here as they come forward down the left-hand side. But Wotherspoon, talking of tired legs.
Yeah, there you go. That was just the perfect example. It was a beautiful pass from Considine, and tell you, Wotherspoon was wide and free.
Here come Rangers once more. Arfield looking to slide it through for Morelos. It was McGowan in the way once more, but here's Kent on the overlap. It's Barisic. Barisic left-hand side, stands up to the back post. Sakala climbs at the back, but he's not been able to keep that on target. Morelos, as he kept that in. Play continues. Kent to the byline. Oh, he's overrun it, and the Rangers fans behind the goal are furious with Ryan Kent there. And it's a goal kick to St Johnstone, and Kerridean's got news of a host of substitutions from both sides.
It's all happening on the park and off. Glenn Kamara's coming on for Rangers, but a double substitution as well. So maybe to those tired legs, Dre Wright and Conor McLennan about to come on for the Saints.
Thanks, Kerridean. The St Johnstone subs are going to happen first of all. It's McLennan and Wright, as Kerridean says, who are coming on. And Glenn Kamara for Rangers is the change, and that's going to see James Sands replaced for Rangers. David Wotherspoon, unsurprisingly, on his first start after a lengthy layoff, is going to come off, and looks like the other player is going to be Stevie May. This really just a freshening up from St Johnstone, who need all the fresh legs they can get for this closing stage. And another change for Rangers as well is going to see Ryan Kent replaced by Rabi Matondo for the closing 11.5 minutes. Can Rangers somehow turn this game right round? 2-1 they trail.
A change of shape for St Johnstone. They've gone a 4-4-2. It looks like McLennan up top with Nicky Clark. Ryan McGowan has left that back five now, or back three, and just squeezed into the middle of the pitch. That's just to reinforce it, put a little bit more steel in there.
Morelos and Mitchell come together, and then Considine slices the ball high up in the air. Dre Wright on that right wing back role, flicks it forward. Barisic will pick up under pressure though from Nicky Clark. Has gone back to Alan McGregor. McGregor sweeps out to the right hand side to the Rangers goal scorer James Tavernier. Back to Kent now, just over 10 minutes to play. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1. Quite a game here at McDiarmid Park. You'll have the sports scene highlights this evening, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. Definitely worth catching for the James Brown goal alone. Morelos gets it back to Matondo, edge of the box. He goes down, Kamara picks up, Lundstrom tries to squeeze it out to the right hand side for Sakala, but McLennan was in the way, and it'll be a throw into Rangers on the far side. Still looking now for an equaliser. Here's Barisic just inside the St Johnstone half. To the left hand side is Matondo. Matondo up against Wright, steps inside onto the right foot, finds Morelos at the edge of the box. Morelos looking for room for the shot. Out it goes to the right hand side. Tavernier into the box, headed away once again by Considine, I think it was on this occasion.
Yeah, again.
And King gets it out to Arfield on the left hand side. Back in field it goes to Lundstrom, who just cracked a great effort off the bar a moment or two ago. Again, Considine's the man to step in and cut out the Rangers
One
attack.
for one at the back here.
Yeah, plays it forward for Nicky Clark.
Oh, McLennan's busting through the middle.
King's trying to stay with him. It's a decent ball in, but McGregor came off his line before McLennan could latch on to the end of Nicky Clark's pass. And it will remain 2-1 St Johnstone, with Nicky Clark's goal currently going to prove the match winner unless Rangers can do something about it in the closing 9 minutes. Morelos for Sakala down the right hand side. Morelos claimed for offside against the Colombian striker. Play continues. Sakala picks up again, edge of the box, gets the shot away. That's not too far off target. It didn't look off the left foot of Sakala as he drifted in the park, but it is off target, and it remains St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1.
Yeah, it's a really good take from Sakala. Opens up onto the left side. I mean, he hits it with plenty of pace and power, just not the accuracy required. Looking at Alex Mitchell, he's shouting to the assistant on the far side there about offside, but Considine had dropped and been on to him off his back, so he played I think it was Morelos onside.
Just about 8.5 minutes left of the 90 in what has been a fascinating fixture. St Johnstone still within touching distance of a long-awaited victory here at McDiarmid Park over Rangers, as Tavernier picks up on McGregor's pass out from his penalty area. Now Sakala back away to King. King just inside his own half, steps forward over the halfway line, allowed to progress as St Johnstone drop right off the game. Tavernier clips it into the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Mitchell. Kamara will go and try and retrieve it for Rangers, does so, gets it to Lundstrom. Now it's Barisic out to the left hand side for Matondo, up against Dre right on the Rangers left. Tries to get to the byline right, just uses his strength. Matondo's
well
stuck a foot in. Yeah, he's done really well. Arfield for Kamara. Lundstrom edge of the box, well taken by Elliot Parish, straight at him, but he had to hold on to it, and he did, and it remains St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1.
Yeah, good strike from Lundstrom. Matondo did really well to keep that ball in play. Dre right close to him, thinking it was going out, but Elliot Parish, you're right, had they spilled that, Cholak was right down his throat.
Parish has it at the edge of the penalty area and then knocks it long over the halfway line. Barisic heads it forward, Arfield helps it on, it'll come to James Brown, he gets it to Carey, and now it finds its way to Nicky Clark. Carey went down off the ball against Barisic, play continues, comes off Nicky Clark, and it'll be a Rangers throw in midway inside their own half. And
who's out on the far side? It's Sakala got a problem, is he?
Looks like it's Stephen McLean just whistling to halt the game for a moment, but Scott Wright's going to come on, I think, just replace. Well, why are the physios are just running across the park?
Quickest point to get across while they're making the sub. Yeah,
Scott Wright will just come on for Fashion Sakala with 6.5 minutes remaining at McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone still have a 2-1 lead. Scott Wright on as Rangers still pursue an equaliser. There will be a throw-in to Rangers to restart things here. Borna Barisic takes, back to Lundstrom it goes, and now Leon King up to the halfway line he comes, looks to his left and finds Barisic into the feet of Morelos. Hasn't really had much of a look in since he's come on. Morelos slides it back to Lundstrom. Lundstrom advances midway inside the St Johnstone half, gets it back from Cholak, goes for a goal again. He's closed down brilliantly by Considine. What a power of work he's done. And then Nicky Clark shows good strength to hold off Barisic on the counter. Barisic trying to get back at him down the right hand side. Goes Clark, just trying to tick down the clock for a few seconds. Still he's going though, Nicky Clark. Barisic trying to stick with him, puts the foot in, knocks it out of place, and Johnston throwing to just waste another few seconds. 2-1 they lead. Yeah,
brilliant from Nicky Clark. Really experienced play from him. I know he's get that same pass that he tried earlier from McLennan through the middle of the box, but not the time to do it. Would have been mopped up easily by Rangers, but he just decided to take responsibility, run it into the corner, wind the clock down and get themselves up the pitch for a throw-in.
Taken by Dre Wright into Carey inside the penalty area, managed to keep that in. Cross goal, it comes McLennan back to Clark, tries to curl it towards the top corner, left footed, it's over the crossbar on this occasion. Nicky Clark can't add to his own tally. It will remain with 5 minutes to play. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1.
Yeah, a really good chance, you know. Just sat up on him, whether it had been pulled back. I did think it was out of play.
Here's Wright down the right hand side for Rangers, back to Tavernier, about 30 yards from goal. Deep into the penalty area. Morelos didn't realise it was for him, but it's too deep for him in any case. Out of play, and that's a poor cross from the skipper just when Rangers needed quality into the box.
Yeah, again he pulls away to the back post. I think he's expecting Rabi Matondo to go around the back of him. I'm not sure he would have got on the end of it. It was a poor cross from Tavernier that time. But the clock is starting to wind down. The bad thing or the good thing, I'm not quite sure what it is, but as a St Johnstone player, they'll be aware of that clock. They'll be keep glancing at it. As I said earlier, it will be ticking away very slowly for them.
Elliot Parish preparing to take the goal kick. 4 minutes to play, plus any added on time at the end of the 90. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1. St Johnstone will move up to 5th, at least until the conclusion of the Hearts Motherwell game, which is a 3 o'clock kick-off. That'll be with us here on Sports Sound, although just on BBC Sounds and online, as well as our FM frequencies, as Off the Ball will be on our other ones from just before 3 o'clock. Here's Scott Wright, right hand side, plays it forward looking for Kamara, who's got the better out there of Halberg. A cross goal it comes, it's cut out yet again by Considine, behind for a corner. Rangers pressing for an equaliser.
Yeah, Glenn Kamara does well, just uses his power and his strength to break into the box there, but his cutback is poor, it's too straight. It should have been angled better to Scott Arfield coming at the penalty spot.
Tavernier from the right hand side, looking to pick out a teammate with a corner kick, and it comes almost onto the penalty spot, headed away by McGowan. Kamara picks up, finds Tavernier once more, low ball in. Montgomery at the front post just knocks it behind once again for another Rangers corner. 3 minutes to play, plus added on time. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1.
Yeah, they're just desperate to see this ball away. St Johnstone.
Corner from Tavernier, right hand side into the near post this time. Cholak can't get there, it was Mitchell who rose above him, and it's Tavernier picking up right hand side. Kamara now trying to get away from McLennan. McLennan loses his footing and Kamara still has it. Angle of the box on the right hand side, it's a poor ball into the box. He was looking for Arfield, but McGowan was there and knocks it clear. Kings, oh, he slipped on the halfway line and he's lost out here. And it's brilliant play from Carey. Carey's away, King trying to get back at him, edge of the box. Carey checks back, Rangers funneling players back, still it's Carey. King gets the block in and back comes Kamara to pick up possession. He's challenged by McLennan. Kamara has it, gets it back in field to King, who managed to recover well.
Really good from a young man. That was a pressurised situation. I know, spoke about the surface, he slips. Carey is not blessed with pace anymore, maybe at younger days, but King didn't give up on it. Really aggressive defending, not to just chuck it. Got himself goal side and the danger was gone.
Tavernier clips it forward looking for Cholak. Considine gets his head to it first, then a second header to the edge of the penalty area, helped on by Halberg, only as far as Tavernier. Midway inside the Saints half, Lundstrom gets it back from right, slides it through. Cholak with a chance, great challenge by Mitchell once again. If you were picking a man of the match today, Neil, you would totally be struggling between that. The back three of St Johnstone would all be in contention, wouldn't they?
I am. I think McGowan moving into the centre of the park is maybe done himself out of the contention for man of the match, and it remains with his two counterparts, Mitchell and Considine, who've been superb.
Here's King, midway inside St Johnstone territory. Barisic back to King, closed down by Clark. Out to the right hand side it goes for Tavernier. Tavernier trying to get away from McLennan. McLennan again loses his footing. Tavernier gets just a yard of space, sends in the cross, a good ball in. Morelos couldn't direct it on goal though. St Johnstone clear their lines. Barisic will go back to retrieve it and plays the ball square to King inside the centre circle. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst urging Rangers forward with just less than a minute of the 90 to play. We'll keep an eye on the fourth official who's about to show us how long is to be added, with Phillips about to come on for St Johnstone as well, just to waste a little bit more time. Theo Bair also about to get stripped. Here come Rangers once more. It's Kamara into the box it goes. Mitchell with a header clear just outside the penalty area. Conor McLennan back there defending as well. Lundstrom picks up midway inside the Saints half, pumps it into the penalty area. Cholak is free, but he won't get onto the end of it. Too much on the pass from Lundstrom. Down goes Carey with a bit of cramp, I think, on the edge of his penalty area as this double substitution is about to be made. And we are ticking now into injury time. Still haven't seen the board from the fourth official as he's about to announce the substitutions. Now it shows us it's going to be 4 minutes of added on time first of all, and then Theo Bair and Daniel Phillips will come on for the closing stages of the game. As St Johnstone look to see this out and get a crucial 3 points and a third successive victory. I was looking at it actually, I think the last time they won 3 in a row in the league was back in January 2019 under Tommy Wright. They look like they are about to do the same unless Rangers can pull something out the bag. But even if they can get an equaliser, they'll still be slipping further behind Celtic over the weekend. Well, as off comes Graham Carey.
Sorry, Alice, I was just about to say the moments of quality, better moments of quality have come from St Johnstone. You can't argue that. I think the Lundstrom thunderbolt that nearly snapped the crossbar was a rare moment of brilliance from Rangers. And if these goals that St Johnstone have scored and Nicky Clark being the second one are to win it for him, I don't think you can grumble.
Nicky Clark's just come off as well. Both he and Graham Carey replaced there by Bair and Phillips as play resumes. Leon King back there under pressure from McLennan, does well to get it back to his goalkeeper Alan McGregor. And it's played out to Tavernier. Tavernier bursting forward, but Theo Bair sticking with him. Ball gets caught under Tavernier's feet, and then Scott Wright loses out as he picks up possession. Bair just fires it forward. McGregor will pick up, comes outside of his penalty area to play it to Lundstrom. We've played almost 2 minutes of injury time, and probably go beyond the 4 after those changes from St Johnstone just on the 90-minute mark. Up it goes to Theo Bair, who nods it down for McGowan. McGowan tries to step away from Arfield. He was caught, and it'll be a St Johnstone free kick.
Experienced one there, Ryan McGowan. He knows that Scott Arfield is going to be very close to him, and when he plays that and goes down, initiates a contact, that is so welcome for Callum Davidson and his St Johnstone players. Totally relieves the pressure.
Yeah, there have been a lot of heroes in St Johnstone colours this afternoon, and again they're just changing free kick taker to waste another few seconds. Considine will come across and launch this one deep into Rangers territory, looking for Theo Bair. He gets the chest down, but Kamara's first to it, knocks it to Tavernier, midway inside his own half, up towards Morelos. Morelos spins and then plays it out to the left-hand side for Matondo. Matondo up against Trey Wright, but 25 yards from goal, back comes Phillips. Matondo holds on to possession, he slips, loses out to Phillips, and St Johnstone can get some crucial possession here and try and run the clock down. Phillips picks up once more from McLennan, and it's a good bit of play from Daniel Phillips. He's fouled there by Barisic on the halfway line. Another St Johnstone free kick as they edge closer and closer to victory.
Yeah, this could be a massive result for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and Rangers, and of course across the city. Celtic, a couple of late goals yesterday and numerous times before, but Rangers just don't look as if they're going to get anything.
The Rangers actually came into this game 2 points better off than the same stage last season, but unfortunately for them, Celtic have been utterly imperious. Last season at this stage, Rangers actually led the league by 4 points. They were eventually clawed back by Celtic. On this occasion they're going to remain 7 points clear as they started the day. And worrying times for Rangers fans on top of their Champions League woes. It's also beginning to affect their domestic form as Lundstrom plays it out to the right hand side. We've played the 4 minutes of added on time. Tavernier tries to get it into the penalty. It comes off Montgomery. It'll be a Rangers corner. They're not going to get too many more chances after this.
Last chance saloon to get a point from this game here.
Tavernier from the right hand side. Surprised McGregor hasn't come up to lend his height to this one. Tavernier into the areas, flicked away, and then Phillips just fires it over the halfway line. Stephen McLean looks at his watch, comes to McGregor. McGregor will just launch it back in towards the edge of the penalty area. Back goes Phillips, heads it high in the air. Matondo will try and keep it alive for Rangers, but McGowan steps in and just plays it to McLennan, and surely now St Johnstone have the victory. Infield for Phillips it goes. Kamara comes to try and close him down. Back out to McLennan. Well over the 4 minutes down. McLennan just puts the brakes on. Arfield with him, but he can't win possession. Is McLennan still down near the corner flag? Comes off Arfield. It'll be a St Johnstone throw-in, and the St Johnstone fans just now believe that they have got the 3 points. Callum Davidson asking, well, what's with the extra added on time? There goes the final whistle. St Johnstone have done it. The boos from the visiting fans, the elation from the home fans as St Johnstone record a first victory here over Rangers for 12 years. It was hard earned. Some unbelievable defensive performances from St Johnstone, an unbelievable goal from James Brown to open the scoring, a really good finish from Nicky Clark to double the advantage. And although James Tavernier pulled Rangers back into contention and John Lundstrom struck the bar in the second half with a ferocious effort, they could not find an equaliser. St Johnstone move up to 5th. Rangers will remain 7 points behind the league leader Celtic, and you can already say that their hopes of clawing back that lead are very poor indeed. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's side just could not find the inspiration this afternoon they required, and St Johnstone celebrates a famous victory. It finishes at McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone 2, Rangers 1.